Nation of Fitin10, it is day 8, and I sent you your numbers today, and I made a mistake on some of the men. So I just sent an email out to all the men in this challenge with possible corrections. So if your numbers are the same, don't worry about it. And if your numbers changed, well, that's because there was a serious mistake. Okay, so some of you guys, your higher heart rate value was like way up there. All right, so there was a mistake there. So please check on that. You should see a change now. And also, there were two of you who actually had your numbers. Well, your numbers were just off. Your macro numbers. Okay, so just double check. Okay, if your numbers didn't change, then there wasn't a problem. Okay. My apologies on that. Okay, couple things here. Okay, so reminder, total energy expenditure. I'm still getting questions on this. So, bear with me here because I am going to repeat myself a lot. And I kind of realize I have to do this because, I explain things once or twice, but it's not enough. And I get this because, there's things that, I've gone to school or I've learned things from people before, and they might explain something to me once, and it just kind of in one ear and out the other. So your total energy expenditure for the day is basically made up of, you can think of like 4 different categories, right? So you've got your basal metabolic rate. This is the amount of energy it takes to keep the lights on, the brain working, the organs functioning. All right, so you've got your basal metabolic rate. You've got your what we call your NEAT, which is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, just a fancy word for the energy that you expend doing basically all your daily activities, with the exception of exercise. And then you've got your exercise activity, right? This is the time or the energy that's devoted towards doing an exercise activity. And then you've got the thermic effect of food. Okay, the amount of energy it takes to digest the food. Okay, so all of those things are going towards your total energy expenditure for the day. Okay? Now the bulk of that energy expenditure is, of course, your basal metabolic rate, all the energy that goes towards keeping the lights on for 24 hours. That makes up the chunk of your energy expenditure. But the other good chunk is your exercise activity and your non-exercise activity. Okay, those two things there can be, they can be, if you're having an active day, it can be 1,000 calories easily. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Like I said, if you feel like you're eating a lot of food, and listen, I already told you that your amounts, the total volume of food that you're eating is probably higher, but your calories are certainly lower. Okay, your daily average calories are lower. Okay, it's very possible you had some days in your past that were lower than this, but you certainly had more days where your calories were higher. Okay, so let's just run through some examples of that. Okay, so for example, 3 slices of pizza can easily be over 1,000 calories. And it's not really hard to eat 3 slices of pizza, right? I'm sure most of you, or maybe all of you, have eaten 3 slices of pizza, maybe more in one sitting, right? That's 1,000 calories, easily 1,000 calories. 4 beers. 4 beers is probably around 1,200 calories, the average beer, okay? I know a lot of you probably have had times where you probably drank more than that, okay, over the course of, 3, 4, 5 hours. A good old Costco muffin, okay, or other muffins for that matter. Again, a lot of calories there. Costco muffins, depending on the type of muffin you're having, is somewhere between that 550 up to close to 800 calories. Okay, again, not hard to eat. A McDonald's meal, that can be like 2,000 calories. Okay, again, these are all things that you can eat, and you'll eat them or you'll consume them, and it doesn't feel like much. Okay, but again, these are potentially things that you're doing and you don't feel it because they're just very calorie dense items, right? Whether they're drinks or their food or whatever. Okay. A typical meal out can be this way as well. It can be several thousand calories. All right, but what you're doing here is you're eating foods that are very calorie sparse for the most part. Okay, and they're also very satiating. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so when you feel like you're eating more, and you may very well physically feel that way. You might physically feel full because the volume of food is higher. Okay, especially if you're eating things like, fruits and vegetables and, popcorn. Okay, I saw somebody wrote popcorn in there as a great source of carbohydrates. Well, yeah, I mean it is, but it's also very calorie sparse. So you got to eat a lot of popcorn so it's going to fill you up. Is my point, right? So you got to eat a lot of popcorn to get the carbohydrates. So it's really not the best choice unless you're really hungry and you want to expand those carbohydrates. Okay. Also, I saw a little write-up in in Slack, and people were trying to look for foods like oh, I need some carbs and some fat, which is generally not things that people struggle with. Usually it's the protein, and I know there are some of you who are struggling with the protein, especially if you're trying to eat more vegetarian type sources of or vegan sources of foods. But when it comes to carbohydrates and fats, and proteins for that matter, look in your manual. Look at those protein strong, fat strong, carbohydrate strong foods. There may not be a perfect listing there, but it might lead you to something else that's very similar. Okay, because certainly those lists are not exhaustive. There's many other food items that we could add in there. Anything else I wanted to say? No. Let's keep this video under 10 minutes. How about that? Okay, let's get to the message of the day. What is my message of the day? My message of the day is, I love this saying. It's cheesy, but I love it. It goes like this. You can say this to yourself, and you should say this to yourself. I am amazing. I can do anything. Positivity is a choice. I celebrate my individuality, and I am prepared to succeed. So, why don't you say this to yourself? Go ahead. Say it. I am amazing. I can do anything. Positivity is a choice. I celebrate my individuality. This is super important, by the way. A lot of us, we may in our minds beat ourselves up. You should be proud of who you are. And I'm prepared to succeed. And I mean this. You should be really proud of who you are because you as an individual, that is and I realize this is maybe perhaps off topic of the essence of this challenge, but the world would be super boring if we were all very similar, right? So it's better to have a world, in my opinion, I think, where you've got all kinds of people with different likes, and they've got different strengths and different interests, and they're cultivating themselves in their interests. I mean, that allows us to have a variety of things, and allows us to fill in all the areas of our lives that we are not good at, right? Because you are good at things that I am not good at, and that helps me because perhaps I need certain things from you, right? These are all very, very important, parts of life that I've never really understood why people get upset when people are different. I don't know. It's weird, but it's a reminder to you to celebrate your individuality. Okay, be proud of who you are, and we need differences, right? So I'll say it one more time. You can repeat it to yourself again. All right, I am amazing. I can do anything. Positivity is a choice. I celebrate my individuality, and I am prepared to succeed. Guys, have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, and just a reminder, it's Mother's Day tomorrow. And on that note, positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself for the love of God, give some gratitude for the things you have, and I'll talk to y'all very soon.